There we go. Hello there. Welcome to Transformation Tuesday for March 11th, 2025. Let's take a deep breath in here. In total gratitude, appreciation for being alive, and we are celebrating an anniversary, 5-year anniversary in March for coming to you
Oh,
every Tuesday with insights, inspiration, whatever, but maybe a chance for you to maybe take something to shift and uplift. My my hands are the same color as the bluebonnets. We're grateful down here in Texas. It's bluebonnet seasons. It's spring, and they'll be popping out here. So, my name is Judy Matejcek, Life Mastery Consultant and World Class Paradigm Shifters, where we come together to shift and uplift the planet. And this is Transformation Tuesday. So, in the month of February, March, and April, we are studying the book by Raymond Hollywell, Working with the Law, the 12 Spiritual Laws. There's probably more, but we're studying actually 11 of them. So let's do a little recap of where we've been. The first week we were just talking, there are spiritual laws that govern the universe. Whether we know them or not, we're in harmony. It's much better to get in harmony with them. The first law was the law of thinking. Everything is created twice. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Check. The second law was the law of supply, that we live in an abundant universe, making agreement only with abundance and not lack. The third law was the law of attraction. It's activated by that burning desire and grateful expectation. Wow. Now, the fourth week, we were talking about fifth week, the law of receiving is activated by the law of giving, which kind of ties into what we're talking about now. So this week we are bringing to the law of increase. Let's take a deep breath in to the law of increase. Yeah, and and then I'm going to introduce you to our guest speaker here. But let me first of all tell you a little bit about this law. The law of increase could actually be called the law of praise, because whatever you praise grows, but you praise, you raise. And so this applies to self confidence, money, praise the money you have, raise it, even plants. That's the main focus of the study of this law of increase. We all want increase. Whatever we praise will increase. The understanding that whatever you praise will increase enables you to be in harmony with the law more clearly and in a more amplified way. Amen. So I've asked my buddy, Carol and I've been working together for, I think, 5 years, even more, maybe, to come and talk. This is a woman who, man, what you praise, you raise, that you live it. And Carol is from Chowchilla. I love saying that word, Chowchilla, Chowchilla, California. And Carol's spent 25 years in a grocery store clerk, right, Carol? Is that right?
yes.
Yeah. And then 29 years as a massage therapist. And you would think that she'd be done after all that. She's going to be, one of the things I know about Carol is that she's visioning her 80th birthday party in May. So I want you to come in here, Carol, and talk a little bit about maybe oh, yeah, I'm going to bring in what you're currently doing in a little bit. But I want you to, if you would, come in and tell us about a little bit about your life, maybe when you discovered this law of praise you raise, or maybe where you didn't get it when you were little. So come on in here, Carol, and thank you for being here.
You're welcome, Judy. Thank you for inviting me. Um, it was interesting because as I was reading and doing the reading on the law of increase, it dawned on me that I could remember when I was 5 years old and I was doing that. I was the person of increase. I would go to the train station uptown and bring somebody home that got off of the train, a hobo or something, and bring them home to eat. Um, I don't think my mother was quite happy with that, but I did things like that, or took the school janitor to lunch. I wanted to take him to lunch, and I remembered her, and she was just so bubbly and always wanting to be around people and helping people and smiling at people. And so I feel that I was born with that ability in me, that the gifts that when we are born, that we have gifts within us that seem to come out, and you just are bubbly with them. You don't understand them, but you're bubbly with them. So that was quite interesting. And then I felt that when I got into the grocery business, it was a perfect place for me because I got paid to talk to people. And I loved that. I helped them find things. I greeted them every day. I made sure that I learned their names so that I could call them by name. And it was surprising to me, uh, their response to all of that. And so that every time they'd come in, they'd come through my line, even if they had to stand in line for a while. So I I call my gift hospitality, and maybe that's I don't know if that's the true word for it, but uh, I believe that the law of increase for me is to get up, get dressed, go out, give God the day, and just allow Him to guide me, or my guides to guide me to whoever needs a smile, or someone to say hello, or a phone call or something. And so the more that I learn about it, the law of increase, the more it seems like that's my road to travel. That's my place to be in the world. So yeah, the law of increase. Like you say, what you praise, you raise. And it's amazing when you're out in the world, um, what you hear people saying. And so you think, not to condemn, not to judge, but you just hear it and you think, oh, you just feel sorry for them, that that's what they're praising, or that's what they see in the world. They just don't understand that they're seeing what they want to see, you know. So anyway, I was grateful that you gave me this, because I really didn't have a definition that I could break down for myself on the law of increase, the person of increase. But then it dawned on me that a person of increase connects, gives their gives their day to God or their guides or whoever they want to get, and then goes about their day knowing that you're going to come in contact with who you're supposed to come in contact with and be where you're supposed to be. That's beautiful.
It's so great, and I love how you practice it. And just as an example, if you wouldn't mind, I know that you also do a lot of service work with the Lioness, and you did with the Chamber of Commerce and everything. And my question is, and then recently I know you take someone to her doctor's appointments. And how do you keep your increase for yourself in the middle of possible very negative people or negativity? What is it that you do so that you can keep yourself at that vibration?
One thing is to belong to your lovely group.
There you go. A little coaching here.
Yeah, a little coaching. Um, but I have through going to massage school and then being fascinated with the body or the mind and what we can do. I've taken a lot of body techniques because I always felt that God got me into massage to help myself. And I thought, well, I can go to somebody and get a treatment, and that felt great. But if I took the course, I would get it and I would be giving it, and then it was something that I could teach my clients to do. And that was important to me. So I started taking classes, and believe me, each one I'm so grateful for getting into them because they helped me to grow a lot. Um, but mostly in body ways. And then as I got older, I was diagnosed in 2016 with cancer, and God told me I was going to do the chemo and radiation, and my friends that I've done other classes with said, you're also going to use Eastern medicine. So the two will work together. And so I did. And then in 2018, I got a little something more that was between my lungs and my heart. And they had to go in and kind of zap that a little bit. And now I say I'm totally fine. I learned what I needed to learn from it, and I'm grateful for it. It gave me time to really um, learn to start taking care of me.
Well, is that, I know that one of my daily practices is to ask myself my accomplishments from the day before and what I learned about myself. And I love that you just referenced that. And I know also that you just recently went through a health adventure. Yeah, where tell me a little bit, and now and at the young age of 79,
Yes.
and you're at
Uh,
the other side of that. So, if you would, could you tell us about what that adventure in health, where you learned what you learned, or you're learning about yourself that you could teach and pass on?
oh, yeah. Well, the most interesting thing is learning the things that I can do because I don't really have pain. But if I have something that's bothering me, I have tools that I can use to take care of that. And even learning about these laws or going through your class, I'm learning on things to do to help myself. And that's great because to me, when you teach people how to help themselves, it's very rewarding to them. And then they always know. I say, well, you might forget to use them or you might not use them every day, but you've got them. And that way. So, what I learned this time was um, when we're out and about and connecting with people, we can. connect our energy into somebody else, plug our energy into somebody, but they can also plug their energy into us. And so, what the most important thing I learned was how to be able to disconnect those plugins and then bring in golden white light in order to fill that space up. There's chakras. We have chakras in our body. And to clean those plug outs from our chakras and then to fill ourselves up with golden white light, because when you take something out, you need to fill it with something. And so you fill it with, I call it golden white God's light, God's golden light. And that's been really rewarding. We were told in the class to do it for 30 days and see what started happening. And so I do it every morning and I do it every evening before I go to bed. And the other thing that helps is um, we learned just to give ourselves an intention for the next day so that you're already in your sleep and what through your intention planning your day as much as you can, because I always tell God in the morning in my prayers, I have a plan today, but if you need to make any changes or take something out or add something, do that. And then synchronicity, if you can stay, we talk about staying in a high vibration, and to me it's the same as staying in synchronicity, because you can feel it when you're in it. And all of a sudden you'll be driving down the road and you're going to something you're going to, and then this little voice will say, you need to do this. And you go, now? And it might go, okay. And in the beginning, I didn't, sometimes I'd say, well, I'm on my way to the dentist, or I've got to get there. And we think we're in such a hurry. But then when we put ourselves in God's time, it's a whole different thing. And you end up doing what God asked you to do or what your guides asked you to do. And then you get to your dentist and you look at the clock and you're actually 10 minutes early. And it surprises you. So when I feel as a person of increase, when we do for God, God does for us.
Right, your
Yeah.
praise be raised. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
also bring into this, you know, the fact that last year, I think it was, you became a certified ombudsman.
Yes.
Now, I'm not too sure anybody knows what that is, but can you tell me what that is and why you were called to do that, and probably and maybe a story or a benefit that you are getting as well as the other person is getting?
An ombudsman is an advocate for the patient. So ones that live in a nursing home or these homes that have like 6 bedrooms and somebody manages it and is there to take care of you and cook for you. And so you go in, and a lot of people in those places don't realize that they have rights. They just feel that they're supposed to do what they're told. And that's not true. It's half and half. It's working together. And so the biggest benefit I have found for me, and I haven't been in it that long, and then I had the stent surgery. So I'm hoping to get back to that soon. But the biggest gift is they appreciate your coming. A lot of them don't have people or family close around. And so it's like nobody comes to visit them. And so I feel that's very important. And to let them know that they do have rights and talk to them about them. And, if the facility says that you have to shower at 7, that's not necessarily true. And so work with them so that it should be a win-win situation. So you're not so demanding on the facilitators, but they're also not telling you what you have to do all the time. So yeah, and I like that. And what's come to me even from that is a friend that I have and that I learned and was in your group with is a end of life doula, and I think that ties in with ombudsman uh, in a different way. You're there for them, but I feel that it's important because when you're getting close to passing on or leaving, there are things that you'd like to get off of your mind or things that you still feel guilty or shameful about. And I think it's important um, through other techniques that I do, like the one with pulling out things so you don't take them with you, and to allow them to feel better about going, and that it's not the end. It's not the end. I think that I think we can come back anytime we want. So I've always said I'd like to learn what I can this life to let go of things that aren't mine, things that I don't want to take with me, so that when I come back, I can wake up sooner.
Oh, I love it. So when you come
So
back, you can wake up sooner. I love that. Because isn't it
yes,
all about awakening? We talk
yeah,
so much about these spirals of becoming this spiral, and then all the stuff comes up another spiral. What an awakening! I love
yeah.
what you said. So when you come back, I had the privilege of being in a service Sunday where we were honoring these infants. There were five little infants, and I guess sometimes some places you would call it a baptism, but that's not what this was. It was honoring these beautiful little souls that came in. And the cool thing was the parents before the ceremony wrote something about the infant, who they are, and their personalities and why they've named them the way their name, and they were read it by these kids. Oh my god! And then they gave them like a rose, and this one little girl, I think she might have been 3 or 4 months old, just like, wow, this is really cool. Everybody's like, and she grabs the rose and like, all right, I'm gonna eat this thing. But it was like, oh, awakening. And to have, I want to emphasize, to have a community around you that supports your growth is so important,
yeah, yeah,
no matter what. And, I read it this morning in my meditation about we make mistakes, but we are not mistakes.
no, no.
And I think that sums up, man, the law of increase, praise you raise. OMG. So I would love to have you, if you could, oh man, there's so much more. We would just like talk for a month on this one. But you know what? Um, and let me make sure that everyone's, because it changes, I think, your physiology, you. So when you were going through I know you mentioned your stints. You have 5 stints put in. What did you do to work internally on yourself during that? That was a pretty long period of time. Can you tell me some affirmations, or maybe, because I do know that there's people out there who are watching this who are going through some stuff. Maybe they've lost their jobs. a health crisis, a loved one's health crisis, um, stuff. Can you, and I know you just came through, and I'll tell you what, it was really a miracle for me to watch you go through it. You know, you weren't rushing it. I think that was one of the things that I admire about you. But can you tell me, maybe give some tips or tools to people out there who are in the middle or going through, they don't think it's ever going to end? Can you, is there any tools that you could pass on?
The best tool is to understand that our bodies are capable of healing themselves. But because of what we might have been through our life, um, we didn't have that knowledge. And so you're taking medication for this, you're taking medication for that, you're, you know, and a big tool to me is, especially in this law of increase, is to ground yourself and to always talk to God and to Jesus and to your guardian angels. We all have guardian angels. Lord knows how many, and I'm sure in my life they've kind of beat me up a little bit trying to get me where they want me to go. But talk to yourself. First of all, ask yourself what message the universe is trying to give you about your condition.
Okay, everybody write that one down. What message?
Yeah. What are the messages for me?
Okay. Then what?
And then start talking to your guides and to God. Ground yourself in meditation, listen to some music. Just it doesn't make any difference if thoughts and things are running through your mind. Just let them go. Just let them pass. They'll pass because they don't stop a lot of times. We think to meditate we need to be absolute quiet, and sometimes that's our silly mind will just start, and especially our paradigms. God forbid they don't want you to learn about anything. They kind of like where they are. So just start to just have a conversation with God or with your guides and say, what can I do to help myself through this? Because what I started out doing before I even did this thing about pulling out things, and I'd love to do something where I can show people that, because it's important. Because as you're doing things physically, you need to do something that helps you to get rid of the people you've tied on or the people that are tying on to you. So, but I would just, as I took a breath, I'd inhale. And then when I exhaled, I would send my breath to that place that was bothering me, whether it was my hip or my brain, or, wherever it is, wherever you feel some discomfort, to just take a few breaths. And when you breathe out, to breathe it to that place so that it can, and you'll start to feel it. It might not be right away, but you'll actually start feeling changes there. Yeah, because the universe knows where to take that energy. Yeah. It's kind of like Reiki or acupressure or something like that, but you're doing it for yourself and you're sending your breath. And if you know, or you want to touch it, like if I'm working on my heart, sometimes I'll hold my heart and then breathe in, and when I breathe out, breathe it into my heart or my throat or my ears, because I have one ear that I just can't hardly hear anything in. And it's been like that for quite a while. But there's no need in going to an ear, nose, throat doctor because it has nothing to do with that. I've either heard something or when I was little or sometime in my life, and I just wanted to tune out, and there you go. My ear is plugged, but it doesn't have to stay plugged forever.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Look,
Our work gets to the root,
our work gets to the root,
the root.
and then we
Yeah.
get to vision, and
Yeah.
yes, vision.
And then you can start because at first I have to admit when I first went to Dream Builders, didn't understand the concept of creating our own day or we create what we want to see. And I thought, I just didn't know enough. I didn't have enough knowledge. And I thought, how do I do that? And um, another thing that I'm doing right now for 30 days, I think it is, but I said a week first, just to, I said as an experiment, not to complain. Mary brought that up.
I love it, and it's not complain, and so praise, praise we raise. I love it. So one more question is that I started to ask people that I really think is kind of fun. So you're driving down the road, right? And there's a big billboard up there, and your picture is on it with a quote that you would love to have the world, to shine out like a like a lighthouse. And they look up and they see your face. And what is a quote that you would love to uh, to have the world hear?
Shine your light.
There you go. Okay, shine your light, Carol Pitner. And
Shine your light.
yeah, and then we want to ask you to, what would you love to have us, our community, hold for you as you, vision your 80th birthday party and beyond? What would you love to have us hold for you?
Expansion.
Oh, expansion. Okay, here you go. You know this drill. I love Carol to come to Transformation Tuesday. Here you go. From all over the world, we're seeing and believing and allowing and creating expansion in Carol Pitner, Chowchilla, California. You got it?
I got it. Thank you, everyone. I
Oh,
appreciate it. And I put it out there for you too.
amen. Wow.
Yeah.
Law of increase.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carol. And we're building and building and building. They all build on each other. Yeah.
Yes. And it's never too late.
Oh, today's the day.
Yeah.
Amen. Oh,
Are you done recording?
hang on a second.